Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another video, and in this one we have got an Xbox Series X which has a power issue. So as I say, when we plug some power into this Xbox Series X, I think it's just a beep on, beep off. So let's just plug it in. What do we get? Yep, a beep and nothing. Yeah, we got white light as well, but absolutely nothing. So usually these kind of issues are either obviously a power supply, a issue on a short on the board somewhere, or even sometimes it can actually be an issue with the SSD. So let's take it apart, right, and we can have a check to see what we've got. We can actually use the Xbox Post reader that I showed you how to use in another video. I'll put a link to that video up here somewhere. But a nifty little device that we can actually read the post errors from the Xbox. So let's get it open first of all, and then we can take it from there. So there we go. Just initially looking at everything, there looks to be some liquid damage here, or some kind of drink has been spilt here, and I do wonder if that's gone onto the main APU board here. But let's continue taking things apart, and we can investigate that one a little bit further. Right, before we go any further, what we're going to quickly do is just check the two motherboards for any shorting on the 12-volt rail, right? So this top motherboard, also known as the Southbridge board, because it's got the Southbridge IC on it, the power source is just here. There's a little 2-pin connector just there, which provides the 12 volts to the board. And then for the APU board, which is the second board, down here is the connector, right? And you've got different phases there. So you've got 5 phases of 12 volts, right? So the easiest thing to do is get a multimeter, put it into continuity mode, right? Which is the mode obviously that beeps when you put your probes together. And then just check if there's any beep when you push or touch your probes on either side of the legs, right? So the Southbridge board, no beep, looks good. The APU board, again, no beep, so that looks good as well. So next thing to check is the actual power supply itself. Now, although this provides 12 volts, it might not be providing enough ampage in those 12 volts, which could be causing the problems. There is some debris, quite a lot of debris inside this console. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hook up some power to the power supply, and then I'm simply just going to measure the voltage coming out of the power supply. So let's just quickly bring up our multimeter, put us in DC voltage mode, and then see if we get any power out of these outputs. So we've got out of the Southbridge power 12 volts, and then out of the APU power supply we have 12 volts. My probe is around the wrong way. 12 volts as well. So the power supply might be good, right? But it also has got this liquid damage which I'm a little bit concerned about. And you can actually see it here as well. So although it might actually power up the initial 12 volts, there might actually be an issue with that. Don't know yet. So the best thing to do is let's try to hook up our little Pico board to actually read the post error codes from, which is power on self test, from the actual console itself. Right, so we need to plug in the power supply again for this, and then we need to hook up our cables to the board. So get our reader, and as I say, there's another video I created on how to set this up, so I'll put the link in the description. Put a little bit of flux on the points that we need to solder to, and just quickly solder our cables, our connection cables, to the south bridge board. Then let's bring up our tool, select the correct COM port, select the correct console. Then what I'm doing is just powering on, right? So now they've got the right COM port selected. Literally just going to give the console some power and then click connect and wait to see what the monitor shows us. There we go, so we can see thrown when console is unplugged expectedly. User report to check voltage on voltage in sensor. So you can see it's not actually starting or completing the boot sequence. Literally, it's got a message around there's some voltage on VINSENS, so voltage in sensor. Right, so let's dig a little bit deeper into that. Right, so let's strip everything down. Right, that VINSENS, voltage sensor, that is, I believe, on the actual APU board. Right, so let me just disconnect that, and then we can actually try and have a closer look at the APU board. I was wondering whether there's going to be actually any corrosion around there. Doesn't look to be. But let's get the board off properly and then we'll take a look under the microscope. So here we are under the microscope. This is the GPU board. Now it would have been this side that the liquid would have come into the board. You can see it here, right? But luckily I don't think it's actually gone through to any of the components on the board. You can see the actual markings along here, right? But I don't think it's damaged, or I don't think the liquid's got far enough to get through. This power IC here, that actually does control part of the one of the voltage ins to the APU, the VINSENS that we saw earlier. That is actually outputted from this IC. I think it's pin 18, but I can't remember. So one of these pins. So what we can try and do is just test that IC. So we can hook up 12 volts and then see what readings we get from this IC as a first point, because it is close, right, to the liquid damage, right? And this board was a bit sticky when I took it off, right? I don't know if it shows on here, right, but you can see there is a bit of a sticky mess along that RF gasket there, which is exactly where this is. So we're pointing to this at the minute. So what I'm going to do is let's give the board 12 volts, and then we can check to see some of the voltages around the actual IC itself. So pin 13 should be measuring some kind of voltage, right? So let's try and find pin 13. Just going to zoom in a little bit more just so I can see it a bit better. Pin 1 is there. So we count all the way along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? So it's the third pin down on this side. And let's see what voltage we've got on there. Let me just switch to DC mode again. We have got, what did I say? 1, 2, 3, didn't it? 1, 2, 3, so there. Right, we're getting no voltage into that chip at all. And if we just probe around the other areas for anything else, so we're not getting anything in or anything out of this little power IC at all. Oh, we're getting 1.7 volts there, which is on that pin there. So we'll check what that is in a minute. And we're not getting anything else, are we? Nope. No, nothing anywhere else. Let's just have a quick check with the thermal camera to see if this is heating up anywhere or any one of these resistors is heating up anywhere. Alright, so with the thermal camera on the screen, I'm going to add power now. Nope. Nothing heating up down there. Let's have a quick scan around the board actually. See if anything else is heating up. As we do this, I don't think it will be. No. It's just a reflection. So far we know we're not getting any voltage through this power IC. So that points to either the source of that power not working, which we know it is because that's the 12 volts, or this IC itself is damaged. Looking around the motherboard a little bit more, or the GPU board, what you can see here is the corrosion, right, or the liquid damage that's come in. But then if you look, there's another bit of mess around this capacitor. Also, some kind of corrosion around that resistor. And this is the circuit which generates the 3.3 volts, which would give that IC that we saw a minute ago power. But continuity across that capacitor is absolutely fine, right? So there's resistance, that capacitor is not blown. However, we're not sure of what this resistor should be. But at the minute it's registering open. So it could be that resistor, R192, is that? Yeah, R192, that's causing us an issue. Might be that capacitor, but either way, because of the corrosion, it's best just to get them replaced anyhow. So let's replace those. Those replaced as well. That didn't make any difference, right? But it's good to replace them anyhow because of the corrosion. So let's keep on investigating. Right, would you believe it? I fixed it, I put everything back together again, and it worked perfectly. And then I went to view the footage and my camera had stopped recording. So my apologies for that. So I've taken it apart again and told you to tell you exactly what I have done. So we replaced the cap and the resistor here, right? Because there was corrosion, it didn't make any difference whatsoever. We measured the input over here for this IC here, and it was 12 volts, but the output here should be 3.3 volts, right? And it's only 3.3 volts when you get the enable signal, right? So this little IC here is actually a step down voltage regulator, right? So it changes or converts or steps down the 12 volts, which comes in here, down to 3.3 volts, which then feeds this cord and off it goes for the 3.3 voltage. Now, as I say, there's quite a bit of corrosion around here, and it turns out it was actually this IC that was actually faulty. So I swapped this IC out and measured it, and now we're getting 3.3 volts, which is fantastic. Thing to remember though is, if you're testing this part, there's obviously the ribbon cable connector, right, which connects to the Southbridge board. That needs to be attached, right, for the enable signal to come through to this IC, right? So if you do it just unplugged, just on the APU board, put in, inject 12 volts, start measuring around here, you'll get the 12 volts here, but you'll never get the 3.3 here, even if this IC is good, because it does not receive the enable signal unless the Southbridge board is plugged in. Right, so let me put everything back together again, and then we'll give everything a test. Right, so that's everything put back together again. It's the next day now. I ran out of time last night doing it, so I just put it back together again earlier on today. So before we power it up, just to let everyone know, if you do have a faulty Xbox or a faulty PlayStation 5 that you want to sell, please visit consoletherapy.co.uk. We buy 40 consoles, certainly Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S and the PlayStation 5s from anyone in the UK. When you go onto our website, enter a few details and you'll see a quote on the screen of how much we will pay you for your faulty console. And we also offer free collection from anywhere in the UK, so you don't even have to go to the post office, right? Literally fill in the form, you'll see the price on the screen. If you agree to it, click submit, and then whenever you want, the courier will come and collect it for you, and then the next day, literally, you'll get the payment into your PayPal account. So if you don't feel confident doing these repairs yourself, you can always sell your faulty console to us. Right, anyhow, enough waffle. Let's put some power in. I mean, I already know it works, right? But there you go. So power's staying on now, right? And it's not beeping off, which is fantastic. So video really to show you how to kind of diagnose and repair a power on off issue on an Xbox Series X. Bear in mind what I said earlier around the difference between the GPU board and the Southbridge board. There is certain circuitry and signals that run obviously between both boards. So if you're measuring for like a 3 volts on the Southbridge board, bear in mind you might not show because it's probably waiting for an enable signal from the Southbridge board. So just bear that in mind as you are repairing them. Anyhow, thanks very much for your view. Sorry this video was split over 2 days, but I literally just ran out of time. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider giving us a thumbs up because it really does help us out. And take care of yourselves and see you all again soon. Bye bye for now.